going on, everybody? It's Dan, the Mushroom Man with Great River Mushrooms and Herbal. How's everybody doing today? We are on our first live of the year. What's going on, Ruby? First live of the year with our Great River Mushrooms live in the kitchen today. We're going to make a little bit of FECO oil like we have in the past. Give a little stuff away. Let me turn that music down a little. And I still have to share this out because Facebook is being really slow today. It actually froze up for 30 seconds while I was trying to share to groups. And we also have a giveaway. We're just going to give away some straight cash again. Straight cash, homie. Let's give away $5 to somebody. Celebrate the new year. And boom, there it is. What's going on? What's going on, Chrisanne? Walker, how you doing today? How's everybody doing today? I'm going to still go over here back and share this out. We are live on actually YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook today. So I got to share a little bit more. Get out to the groups. Please share me out as well. If you don't know, I'm actually Dan the Mushroom Man in Quincy, Illinois, and I am with Great River Mushrooms and Herbal. I am an herbal and gourmet mushroom business. I have a small business that mostly sells on website and on the farmers market. So today we're going to make some FECO oil, and we're going to make some show you how I make it, the process I do, and then we're going to make some elderberry syrup as well. And of course, we're going to sesh and smoke some cannabis. It is Friday. We all made it through the week. Congratulations, everybody. It's what is it? The fifth day of the new year already. I swear it was like New Year's Eve yesterday, and now we're already to the new year. So time's already flying by. And before you know it, it'll be 2025, you know. And I'm just sharing out to a few other groups. Hit that share button as well. Please share out to your groups. And I think, what's going on, Rasta? What's going on, Donna? How you guys doing today? Like I said, we'll do that giveaway straight cash, homie. I always find it funny. We're just gonna give away some $5 today in increments. So if anybody wants to get in that, I'll cash app you the winnings. I'm loading the bowl and smoking a little bit of some, or drinking a little bit of some coffee, smoking a little bit of cannabis. Trying to stay warm because it is kind of cold out. Winter kind of came in. It's like a high of 30 right now, and it's not very warm. But anybody welcome to get into that? Thank you, Donna. Thank you very much. And the other camera over there is actually the camera for the FECO, what makes the FECO oil. So what makes mine interesting is we actually, you know, I actually am able to recapture the FECO oil. So what's going on, Carrie? How you doing? And when you recapture the FECO oil, you cut down your cost a lot because this stuff is kind of expensive. And I just paid $35, more like $38 for one bottle of Everclear. When you do this process, you're able to recover about 70 to 80% of the Everclear with this machine that's in the other camera you can see there. So it's really helpful when you have this machine to be able to recover the costs it takes to make the FECO oil, because now it's expensive. That the cost of Everclear has nearly gone up 30 to 40% in the last 3 years, as has everything else. So you basically have to use this machine about 5 times before you get your money back. With what I calculated with it being about $125. We're going to show you how we do it today. Again, I'm still sharing out to some groups here. Share out to some other groups. Get in that giveaway. Straight cash, homie, is the hashtag. And we're just going to give away some cash today. And I think I have, there it is, one more group to share out. And then we'll go. And please, if you're at Great River Mushrooms, hit that like reaction button. We are now going to be giving away weekly on Sundays. We're going to choose the top fan. Whoever is the most interactive on our Facebook page will get put into a monthly drawing, and it'll basically be 4 people. You know, one per week, and you'll have 1 out of 4 chance of winning one of our prizes. It'll be different stuff every week. It may be accumulation of a few of our products, maybe a mushroom bag, but it's going to be pretty significant enough for you to want to get in on it. So all you have to do is hit that like, interact, try to do it on the Great River Mushrooms page. If you're not a follow over there, just get over there and follow us for Great River Mushrooms and Herbal. And I like to interact with our people a lot more and get people interested in mushrooms and growing mushrooms, whether eating mushrooms, and then as well as the herbal aspects of it. So I am an herbal business that mostly gets into lion's mane, CBD, CBG, as well as elderberry syrup, and I will get into more stuff in the future as we grow as a business. And I'm gonna hit that @ followers over here on our Facebook page. There we go. Don't forget to hit that reaction button. Like I said, it really helps. Even if you leave, you come in, leave, hit that reaction button. It's not a big deal. I do require which I don't think anybody's even gotten in the giveaway, guys. We're giving away some cash. Nobody wants to get in on it. We got 11 people in here. Hit that straight cash, homie. Hashtag is down there in the corner. I think you guys can see it. And load your bowl up, and I'll join you guys. I got some Powhoo over here, and then I got some dust, which some keef. The greatest thing about the winter months is that you get a good amount of keef because everything's so fucking dry, you know. I swear, you buy weed from the dispensary too, and it's dry as well. You know, you can't do much about it when the humidity's 20 to 30% out. The weed dries, but you do get a lot of keef. There we go. We got 2 people in on that. What's going on, Marks? Thanks for tagging people in, Rasta. Appreciate it. Debbie, how you doing? Good evening, Jane Doe. How you doing? So my weed's a little more powdery, but I have been getting a little bit more potency out of the weed when you pack it up with some of this kief that's been falling through the bowl. You can see I got a little pile there. And I know Ross out there, he's got one of them, the little lap, I can't remember what he calls them, because but I need to buy one. Basically, where you trim your trim tray, and he gets all that kief that falls through that thing. Man, I need one of those, but they're like, you know, $40 or $50, just like every other item in your grow facility. Everything adds up, and you have to choose what you buy. The trim bin, that's it. Yes, that's it. Get a little more exciting music going in here. But we got a lot of exciting things tomorrow in Quincy, Illinois. We have the first farmers market, and I'm pretty excited about it. I just turned that up too loud. Let me turn that back down. I'm nervous too, because I get nervous when I do new things. I've never been to this farmers market. I've never sold at it. I don't know any of these people that are going to be there besides the vendor, the people who run the farmers market on the in our outside area. It's the same people running this one, so it'll be interesting. Hopefully, we sell a lot of things. Hopefully, it's worth it. And this is going to last into the spring farmers market. So this is a big deal for people like me and my company, because usually the next 2-3 months are pretty stagnant in business. And the fact that somebody's finally put together a vendor's market where it should have been years ago is good and exciting. But it's been a long time coming, because I've tried to push for this as well. And there's been a lot of people who haven't seen the opportunity to make extra money in their business, but Quincy Axe Company and Quincy has, and it's a great way for them to make additional money as well as help people like us out. So it's a win-win for both of us, because we do pay a vendor fee. They end up making an extra $500 to $600 a month, otherwise on a Saturday where they have not made any money. So I like companies that think out of the box like this, who have the space to run a market and then take the opportunity to do it. And because there's plenty of places in town that have a large enough area to have an indoor vendors market, but they don't take the opportunities, extra opportunities to make that extra additional income in their business. And Quincy Axe Company, I got to give them that. Even though I don't throw axes, I got to give him how many times that owner thinks out of the box to make his money, and I got to give him respect for that, man. So it's going to be at the Quincy Farmers Market, and that's going to be the old Phoenix nightclub in Quincy. I do not know the directions of how to get in the building yet, because there's like 3 entrances. But tomorrow morning I will know more, and I'll post more. I believe you come from the back entrance, like where there's a parking lot, there's an alley, and there's a parking lot across there. It's my belief that you come in through that back entrance, and we're going to be in the back room area. And that's why there's only 12 vendors allowed, because you only have space for 12 vendors. So if you do live in the Quincy, Illinois area, which I know a lot of you do live around here within an hour, hopefully it's going to be a great market. I don't know any other vendors there, because my sign-up sheet only says names of people. It doesn't tell me what their businesses are. So from what I saw, it looks like a couple candle businesses, some of your normal flea market kind of vendors, where people who make homemade products and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting to see who shows up and who's there. Yeah, thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll do fine. I remember my first farmers market this spring, and I didn't want to do it. I I don't want to go to this farmers market because you're so nervous, you don't know what to expect. And now I've done that market about probably 15 times, and I feel pretty confident. I have a feel for what kind of clientele are at that market, and so because each market's different, people don't understand that. There's like people they're regulars that come there, and they're all different, from different walks of life. And a lot of the people who come to one market, I notice a lot of people in Quincy, a lot of active young people come to one market, a lot of older people go to the other market. So it's really interesting, the different clientele that each market gets, because everybody has their own favorite farmers market they go to. So the interesting thing is too, is that the other farmers market that gets a lot of the older people is in a neighborhood where there are a lot of older retired people. So that may be one of the reasons why too as well. So always interesting, the location. I can't wait to get into farmers markets outside of my city that are a lot bigger. So that'll be interesting when we move into markets where you're literally, you know, you could move a couple $1,000s with a product. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Yeah, everything's made in this kitchen right now, and we have future plans to hopefully get a commercial kitchen. Right now, we're working on our commercial lab in our basement, and in the future, we will have a commercial kitchen. Because the goal is to actually have a building that basically has the commercial kitchen, the commercial mushroom facility, and then the retail part of it in the front. So that's the ultimate goal. And have it all in one building, kind of. Because the commercial kitchen, a lot of these other mushroom businesses don't have. They just sell the mushrooms. And I have dreams to actually make my own products out of these mushrooms and, you know, all this other stuff. So. Cheers. Oh, yeah, we forgot to top it with some keef. We're going to put a little bit of some keef on top of this. There's a little bit of scoop of some keef on top of your bowl. Why not? It's Friday. Let's celebrate a little bit. Everybody load their bowl, even though it's 24 minutes till 4:20. And don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate you guys all out there. Yeah, the great thing is that farmers markets are on the comeback, and I feel like small businesses are too. And I think COVID kind of brought back the power of the small business, and I see it now. I see farmers markets growing because people are more aware of the importance of self-sustainability, as well as actually having fresh vegetables and all these other things that you really can't get at a supermarket. And the state of Illinois also encourages farmers market use as well by having part of their SNAP program. And a lot of people are not aware of this. If you are part of the Illinois SNAP program, you can go to any farmers market in the state of Illinois. We'll give you $1 for every dollar you spend. So let's say you go down there and you purchase into the program. You actually have to go to the register and do it. If you buy $20 in their tokens, they're going to give you $20 extra in tokens. So you essentially get $20 free. So this is the state of Illinois' way to encourage people to buy products at the farmers market instead of going to supermarkets and buying really crappy food that's not going to be healthy for them and their family. As well as they know that money will eventually trickle down to small businesses at farmers markets. So it's a win-win for everybody when we actually use, you know, these tax programs that help people in a good way like that. Because we've all seen people in a supermarket on the SNAP programs buying really shitty food, buying soda, you know, or buying you know, high fructose products that they give to their kids that just aren't very healthy, and nobody wins there. Even though, you know, that's just the way the world is. That's what we give our kids, a lot of unhealthy things. So. But that's one good thing the state of Illinois does, so I do applaud them for that. Apparently, so does New York, according to Jane. What's going on? What's going on, Kristen? Jeff Orball, what's going on? How you doing? Jeff, I don't think I've ever seen you in here. Nice to see you, buddy. Grassroots, what's going on, buddy? Hope all is well in the new year for you. I haven't talked to you in a while, so smoking some grape and alien kush. Heck yeah. Man, you're smoking the infused Rasta log without me? Man, I should have known I should have come back over. Sandra, I appreciate you. Sandra here. This is one of my biggest customers. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Sandra order on my website. Much love to Sandra here. Let's give her a nice round of applause. I appreciate her so much. Because people like that, people don't understand. Regulars that come to my website, regulars that come to my farmers market are really the people who, you know, help a business out. Because those people, you get 20 or 30 of those people and you have a really legit business. So I really applaud the people who continue to come back and keep buying from you. It's just so hard for me to imagine that I make products now that people buy on a website. So I never thought I'd have something like that, but here I am. I do. Cheers, folks. It's just a step at a time, as I tell everybody. You don't have to do everything at once. So It's taken me 2 years to get here. At one point, I didn't even have a website. So if you have a small business out there, keep pushing, man. Because everything you do, every positive thing you do, adds up into a big change, So you can do a lot of small steps to get to one big, to find your dreams. I'm still taking those steps. I'm still riding along, still learning how to grow mushrooms. I still fuck up. But things that were used to be very difficult for me are now pretty easy. So it's now time to learn the next type of skills. And that includes a lot of other research, a lot of growing other difficult mushrooms. Right now I've only grown 8 different species, and my plan was to grow 15. So the other 7 that I want to grow are very difficult species to grow. So I'm ready for the challenge. We better get this. We'll smoke this bowl, smoke another one, then we'll start loading this stuff up. Because I'm going to show you how I actually get the FECO oil going here. I actually freeze mine for 2 weeks. So I'm going to show you how I get the process of freezing with these containers that I actually bought at Hobby Lobby. I need to blow my nose. If you live near Hobby Lobby, and they have a 50% off sale, go in and buy these containers. I've used these for about probably 5 years. I don't know the size of them. They're 75-ounce jars, but they're usually $8. But Hobby Lobby has 50% sales on all the time. Turn that music down. It's too loud for me. And if you go in there during their sale, you can get these for $4. I went in there yesterday and bought 6 of them because I've broken about 3 of them over the years. But yeah, these things are awesome because you can do this with them. So you can buy these are my Micron filters. So this is a filter in there, and I dump my stuff in there. Allows the filter to fit perfectly in there, and you're gonna get your filtered stuff in here. This stuff it can withstand a freezer without breaking. I do not recommend you put it on a burner because that's how I've broken one of them. But man, these things are badass for $4 when you get them on their 50% sale, which happens like a couple times a year. Just make sure their glassware is 50% off, and that will include this stuff. But yeah, I have like 7. I have 8 of those now. They're awesome. They're containers with lids. So they also come with this lid too. Yeah, I like them. Definitely recommend Hobby Lobby. Great glassware. Straight cash, homie. Oh, what's going on, Debbie? Brian? Watching from Arkansas. Jeff, you're cracking me up over here. Kaboot. Good old high school friend there, Jeff. It's good seeing you. I hope the new year's doing well, man. What's the best thing for pain? I had setback surgery in the back. No, the best thing for pain is CBD, CBG. I don't say this because I'm trying to sell a product. I say this because it really does work. I do have CBD, CBG on my website. It's in 16 milligram form. But the great thing about that product is you can take 2 or 3 and you're not going to have any side effects, but it's really going to be helpful for pain management. It also does a whole bunch of other things. If you go to my website, there's a lot more information that I can explain about the benefits of each CBD and CBG. A lot of it is for pain management and depression. So a lot of the issues that come with pain are from inflammation of the body. So that's why when you eat sugar, as you get older, your body hurts more. So you have to eat healthier as you get older because sugar has more an effect on the inflammation part of your body. And I know that because I feel it now. When I eat something sugar, you're like, oh my God, I feel like shit. And that's because inflammation. So a lot of good things to do is try to find foods that do not inflame the body first off. So try to include a diet that has a lot of anti-inflammatory foods, which is basically the Mediterranean diet's one of your best diets for that. But choose as you like. That's really the first thing you can do for pain management, and then try to take supplements like CBD, CBG, and stuff like that. So it's really helpful. What's going on, Tommy? Tommy, how you doing? Straight up from New Jersey. Earl, how you doing today? We're going to do another cheers here, and then we're going to start packing one of these things up with the actual cannabis. So I use these cylinders too because you can actually pack them really full of cannabis. And I have a whole bunch of decarb weed oil here that I'm going to stuff full of here, and then I'm going to dump the alcohol in there. And we can probably just move the laptop right over here, and we'll stuff it full here. And I'm going to get some gloves on because this stuff is really sticky. So we clean our hands too. We got some sanitizer. I always try to keep my kitchen clean as well, since I do make a lot of my products in here. And we have a whole bunch of cannabis here. As you can see right here, this has been decarbed. It was in the oven for 30 minutes at 230 degrees. This is actually a mixture of cannabises. It's actually terpene and pauhua. When I do make my FECO oil, I do a couple of strains because for one, you get more of a full spectrum effect. You're not going to be able to tell if you have a different strain when you're making FECO oil as compared to say coconut oil, honey, or other products, because FECO is just an extraction. So when you're making your coconut oil or your honey, you're actually infusing your cannabis into the honey. As in when I'm making FECO oil, I'm doing an extraction of the cannabinoids. So remember that is a difference. So it's okay to use a couple different strains if you're making FECO, because you're not going to be able to taste any particular strain. You know? I mix a few strains because I do like the full spectrum effect of the cannabis. When you do put a couple strains in there, you're going to be able to get across some more terpenes, and more cannabinoids. So either way, it's going to be strong stuff. We're going to start by just stuffing it in here. I do not want to put stems in here. You don't have to. I mean, there's a couple stringy ones in here. Heck yeah, Sandra, I appreciate it. Sandra's been taking the elderberry syrup every day. I need to start taking it every day too, but I've been feeling really well lately. A lot of stuff, my body aches have been going away lately, so I've been feeling well. And I still say that was because of what I experienced a couple weeks ago on a mushroom trip, as many of you know. My life has been pretty good since then. It was an excellent release, even though it was scary as fuck. So I still encourage people to look into psychedelic research. Even though I don't do podcasts about it anymore, I do have future plans to do podcasts, but they're going to be bigger and better. We're going to actually have interviews and everything, more like a journalistic type story. So I'm really excited about that. I just don't do the scheduled content about magic mushrooms anymore. But yeah, that stuff saved my life, and I will always say that. Even though Rasa knows better, because that night I was saying the opposite. I was terrified, and I was like, man, I don't know about telling people to do this anymore. But after the experience was over, it made a lot more sense to me what I was experiencing. So at the time, you're in a frantic state of mind and you don't understand what's going on. So what we're doing here is actually we're packing the cannabis in here. It's like I said before, this stuff has been decarbed at 230 degrees for 30 minutes. Again, I've made FECO oil without decarbing. I know people say you have to decarb, and I don't tend to agree. I've made some pretty potent FECO oil without decarbing, and I think that's because this is, like I said, an extraction, not an infusion. So you definitely have to decarb if you're infusing. I don't know if it's needed so much when you're doing an extraction with FECO. Like I said, I've done it both ways. I've kind of not noticed a difference. I think they've both been potent products. But more research and definitely some more experimentation needed before I have an opinion on it. And I decarb anyway, because it's pretty easy to do, just decarb it, be safe, make sure that you're transferring all that THC over. Hope you're having a lifted day too, Macy. Macy's day after her birthday. What are you, your 44th birthday now, Macy? I didn't go live yesterday, so I'll just play it for you now. But Man, I got gloves on. It's not working. Trying to get to a song here.
Happy birthday to
Oh, let's go with something better. Oh, that one's worse. Yeah, this one's for Macy then. There you go, Macy.
To you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to
See, that's why I
you.
saved that on there. It's just for you, Macy, just to play. There you go. I believe that was a Marilyn Monroe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Reference. From a movie. I download some weird stuff just so I can play it like that. Birthday's coming up Tuesday the 9th. That's in 4 days. Hannah Grammy, are you gonna be 25? How old are you gonna be? You don't have to tell us. I know you're younger than me, so. Again, I'm packing this cannabis in there. You can see it's pretty loose after you put it in the oven. But I'm packing it down. I don't care if it's crumbled up. Because what we're going to do now after we fill this all up is we're going to put Everclear in it. And it's not going to take a lot because I have it so packed in there. So when you do an extraction, you really just want it to touch. You want the alcohol to touch everything and soak it. It doesn't matter how tightly packed it is. Because the extraction is going to happen nonetheless, whether everything's completely packed solid or not. You'll see when I dump it in there how it saturates slowly down it, and then everything gets soaked, and then it's going to go into the freezer for 2 weeks minimum. And I was hoping that I had enough here. I wasn't sure. I never know how much I make, and maybe I should weigh this out, and I will. Because I have empty ones, we'll weigh what an empty one weighs and then weigh this full, and we'll actually see how much goes in here. And again, anybody in the Quincy area, I am looking to buy trim. I haven't made a post about it. And even if you live further away and you want to ship it, I am looking for high quality trim, and I will buy it from you. At some point, I'm going to run out of my own trim. I still do have enough left to go 3 or 4 months, but I am in the market to buy more. So hit me up if you have cannabis trim that you would like to sell. I'll definitely pay you a fair market on it. So it's my understanding from talking to people in other states is about 100 to 125 to 150 a pound is what trim goes for. So that's what I would pay. I'd pay 100 for lower and higher end stuff. Say like blueberry muffin trim, I would definitely pay more for. Because blueberry muffin is a phenomenal trim, but you don't get a lot of trim from a plant. So we're about full here. I don't think I can get much more in there. I got it packed down. I'm gonna move this now so we can get that, so we can dump the alcohol in there. So you can see right there now we got the thing completely packed full, and I'm pushed down pretty hard. I'm a pretty strong guy. I can't really push down much more. Now you can use your fingers and get down a little more just to get it below that lip, because you want all of it to be underneath the Everclear. So we got 1 bottle, 2 bottles, and 3 bottles. We're stocked up over here. Everclear is expensive though, still. That's for sure. I just paid $76 for 2 bottles in my state, so. All right, now we're going to dump the Everclear in it. And this has actually been used. This Everclear has already been filtered out through my distiller. And it's still good to go. Still going to get my extraction. Still smells like Everclear. It just smells a little planty. We're going to dump the rest of that in there. You can see it slowly saturating down there. And we're just gonna fill it up till it's all saturated. It's some, I can't remember how much of a bottle it takes. Can't see the comments. There we go. Blueberry and OG Kush. Sounds good. We're just gonna dump it in there. Probably take that little plastic thing off, but a little faster. But it does take a little bit of time, that you can see, to go down through that. And we actually need to take our other one out of the. So this is one right here that's been in the freezer for a couple weeks. You can see how dark it is now. And I needed to take it out because I got to let it thaw for a second. But this one's been there for 2 weeks. All been saturated inside of the Everclear. So now what we're going to do is we're going to filter all that out of here. Begin our process of making FECO oil. We'll set that aside for a second. Keep dumping our Everclear in. What's going on, Chuck? How you doing? Karen? Good afternoon. It is almost 4:20 in the Midwest. Man, I'm gonna have to load a bowl. Hopefully this thing's done filling up and I can load a bowl by 4:20. You can see it's almost reached the bottom now, and now it's saturating the very last part at the bottom. And we're just gonna make sure it's full past. You want it to be sitting in it. So we're gonna fill it to the very top. And then we're gonna make sure that it doesn't sink down anymore, which I think was there almost. Yeah, so now it's completely under the Everclear. And now we're going to stick it in the freezer. It's going to stay in there for a couple weeks. Minimum of 2 weeks, I recommend. I've done up to 6 months. Up to you. I will tell you that the longer you keep it in there, the more potent it does seem to be. But 2 weeks minimum will get you a really, really potent stuff. After that, you're kind of extracting more cannabinoids further. Yeah, we're good to go. We're going to put that one back into the freezer now, and we're going to start working on this one I just took out. Just make sure, like I said, these Hobby Lobby bottles work great. I've never had one cracked. The only one I've had cracked are the ones I dropped. Well, I put one on a burner once, and it cracked, and that was actually very bad when I did that, and it was a lesson learned. They're great for this. Just don't put them on a burner. So here's the one we just took out of the freezer, and this one's been in here, I believe. I don't have a date on it, but I know it's been in there at least a month. And the lid, that's why I had to take it out of the freezer, because the lid's frozen on it. That's not, we got it. But it's pretty green stuff. And now we're going to filter it. So our filtering process is just putting it through another jar with a micron filter. This is a 73 micron filter on top. And we're going to get a towel, because this is, find a towel. I found out that doing this process, you can ruin your cabinets on your countertops pretty easily, because of the fact that this stuff is alcohol based. Let me get a bit bigger towel. So say, like, for instance, if you let it sit on the counter too long, it will remove or stain your countertop. It doesn't do it if you don't leave it on there long. But just take that into account, because Everclear is a powerful solvent too. It can remove stuff like that. And now we're going to filter it. Hopefully try not to make a mess, because these aren't easy to dump out of, but I think I've got it down pretty good. That didn't work very good. So we're probably going to have to get something to scoop it out of there with for a few times. Basically, I need to remove some of the debris at the top because it's just hitting it and going everywhere. So we're going to filter all of this leaf material out. So how we do that is we actually put it in here and then we'll squeeze it. We'll have to do that a few times because there is a lot of debris in here. And after that, this stuff is compost. There's not anything left in it of value. We've already extracted everything we can out of it. Maybe further uses that people use it for, but I just throw it away. We've pretty much gotten everything you can out of it. And again, this is alcohol, so it will evaporate very quickly if you do not squeeze it out of the leaf. So, like if you put it in here, make sure you squeeze it out because otherwise it will just evaporate and then you'll lose your alcohol. So, alcohol is one of the fastest evaporating substances on Earth. So you can see right now I'm squeezing all that out. And it's filling this jar up with our filtered FECO oil, our oil. And we're going to evaporate this oil here in this device you can see in the other camera. And we're just squeezing out the material. Just using our hands. And then we're going to just toss in the trash once we squeeze enough out of it. And we're going to squeeze pretty hard. We're going to get all of it out. Stuff is pretty valuable medicine, you know. And again, we're just using trim. This is a great opportunity to use your trim that is pretty useless. And nothing you grow in the marijuana plant cannot be used. So you can even put the stems in here because there are cannabinoids on it. I just don't do it because it ends up tearing holes in my filter bags. So we just avoid that. Oh. You got a good squeeze there. We're going to toss that. Well, we were supposed to toss in the trash and we missed the trash. Clean up aisle 1. Oh, that's me who has to clean it up. This is a messy process, but the process that I used before was even messier, so I will get better at it. I think if I use make some kind of device in the sink where I dump it out. But we'll figure it out. Now we're going to dump some more of the liquid through now that I can dump it easier. And we're going to get much of that out as we can. And then we're going to start running our leaf material through that filter. What's going on, Bobby? You decarb first. I did decarb first, Karen. And I did. It's decarbed at 230 degrees for 30 minutes. I don't think it's needed. I've made FECO in the past without decarbing, and it's still really potent stuff. So I'm still kind of on the fence about whether you need to decarb for extractions. Decarbing is definitely needed if you're making infusions. So again, FECO is an extraction. You're actually extracting cannabinoids. If you're using honey or cannabis oil or coconut oil or butter, that is actually an infusion. So it's kind of a different process chemically wise. Those definitely need to be decarbed. I'm still on the fence about whether you need to decarb when making FECO. I do decarb just to be safe. It's not that hard to do. I have a big old cookie sheet over here that can fit. It's actually a giant pan you can buy, really deep. This is my pan that I do all my decarbing in. Pretty sure that you can fit a pound in that pan pretty easily. So it's a double brownie pan, so it's really big. Bought it at Walmart. Makes a great decarbon tray. So this stuff is really packed in here. And we're trying to make this a little deeper so we can fit a lot more in it. It's starting to dry up a little bit because alcohol, that's what it does. It does evaporate very fast. So we definitely want to do this quickly or we'll lose some of our alcohol. So we got about halfway through it and we're going to do another squeeze here. You see we got a good amount here. This stuff, we're going to lose about 90% of this, but we're going to be left with a large amount of the FECO oil. So this method that makes a lot. I've never not gotten a big volume out of it doing it this way. And it's all useless trim, you know. I don't even know, it was a strain that I forgot to label, but I think I'm 100% sure that it is Romulan, a strain called Romulan that I grew, and then some Pauhua. So this particular stuff is two different strains. My blueberry muffins and my higher strains are used for my coconut oils, and then I kind of use so that's what another great thing too is if you kill a plant, you can make it into FECO oil as well. So if you ever kill a plant halfway through its grow, it still does have cannabinoids in it. Make it into FECO, put it in, do the process like I do. Don't waste it. You can still extract useful medicine from it, even if you killed it halfway through the grow. I've done it many times, so you can be a grower for 5 years and still kill plants when life gets busy and a plant gets neglected and we make mistakes. That's usually when I kill a plant and when I neglect my garden. We're squeezing all that clear out of here. Still squeezing some out. And that's about all we can get. We're gonna dump that in the trash now. Try to make it in the trash this time. Man. That went all over the floor too. Try to aim for the trash can and it dumps out the whole side of it. But again, we will double filter this as well. So even if something does get through this filter, it's going to get wet. I just made a really big mess. I'm going to clean up a little bit. There you go. It's out of the way now. What's up, Rasta? On your way home. All right, now we're going to try to get the rest of this out. It isn't easy, but we're scooping. I need to get a bigger spoon. Let me get a bigger spoon. So we're basically going to scoop. And that just broke. Look at that. Plastic spoon just broke. Just like that. And that's why you don't buy cheap plastic stuff. So we got this now. I don't think that's going to break. That's stainless steel spoon. We're going to scoop this out of here, and then we're going to scoop it into and we can actually fit a lot in here. What we're going to do is make this bigger on top, and we're just going to scoop a bunch in here. Because this is actually a 1 gallon filter, but it's hard to put on top of this container. Do all that. Get a whole gallon, of trim. But the bottom still has a lot of Everclear in it, and we're going to squeeze a lot of it out. Great plant medicine. It looks like grass right now, but it's going to be some amazing product once we're done with it. This is going to be pure FECO oil. And again, if you saw in our description, we kind of described what FECO oil is, because a lot of people think it's RSO, and it is. The RSO and FECO are pretty much the same thing. It's just the method of extraction. And this method is a lot cleaner than the method of making RSO because we're using a natural product instead of a CO2-based product. Keep dealing with that. Or, I'm sorry, a pure alcohol product. They use like 99% pure alcohol. So we're using Everclear. One of my favorite things to use to make cannabis oil, the FECO oil. And it's high quality stuff. You know, when you're buying Everclear, that you're getting like really good premium stuff. We're still getting a lot out of here. This jar is filling up. See it there. I missed 422, guys. Why didn't anybody remind me to load my bowl? Oh well, we're almost done here. I'm gonna load a nice bowl. I'm gonna get this FECO oil going, and we'll show you how we get it boiling. That's the fun, exciting part, and dangerous part too. So we just added, as you can see in that other camera, we actually have an electric burner now. So the first 4 times I've done this, I used a gas burner, which is kind of dangerous when you're mixing something that's, you know, flammable like Everclear and then trying to evaporate it. So this method's a lot safer. We don't have any open flame anywhere near our product. We do have a fire extinguisher close by too. I try to be safe as I can in case something does happen. Prepare for the worst. You know, expect the best, prepare for the worst. Because I've messed around with this since probably the last 7 years. I've seen my buddy lose his eyebrows because with the first time we did this was in 2015. It was a kind of rudimentary way we did it because we didn't have a lot of the equipment we have now. So we did a CO2 extraction in my backyard, and then we brought it inside, and while we were evaporating it, he decided to blow on the pan, and a big old fireball came up in his face and kind of burned his eyebrows. Yeah, that's the dangerous part of it, because what he did was he blew the vapor below into the flame, and the flame just got the vapor on fire and shot a fireball momentarily. It didn't catch the pan on fire, but it, you know, got him a fireball on his face. So now we have these, you know, all this products. We have this. I have a distiller machine that's a lot more affordable. I don't have to do a CO2 based extraction and do all this other dangerous stuff now. So the processes are a lot safer if you take the safety measurement. And even with an open flame, it was safe. I made sure that when I did have an open flame, that I did have a fire extinguisher nearby for sure. Also, when you do mix with stuff, do not throw water on it. If a fire does start, suffocate it. Just throw a towel on it. You have to kill its oxygen source, and that is the best way to kill one of these fires if it is started on fire. So just remember that. Water can make things worse. So that's why I have a big towel in here. I have another one here. So if the fire did start, I could smother it with a towel really fast. Hopefully not catch the towel on fire. All right, we're still squeezing out. There was a lot in here. There's a lot of FECO oil in here. This is, I'm gonna guess, about 1 gram syringes. So probably getting about 15 to 20 grams of FECO out of here. Be my guess. All right, I think we're done squeezing this particular. Again, after that, it is basically trash. You can put it in your compost pile. You're not really going to get much more out of it after you put it through this process. All right, we're halfway through this jar. We're getting to the good stuff now. We're going to get a lot of FECO out of here, like I said. So we're just using that stainless steel spoon, scooping the material out, putting it into our filter bag. We'll filter the remaining liquid out. And the bottom is a lot more saturated, so we're getting back into the very saturated stuff. We're going to get a lot out of here. Again, these filter bags too are on Amazon. They're about you can get 5 of them for $14. They're awesome filter bags. I use them all the time. Anybody wants that link, hit me up and I'll send you the link to buy these filter bags that are awesome for extractions. Because you got to have a good filter. If you don't have a good filter, you can't filter all this shit out of here. All right, so we're gonna squeeze some more now. Work it down to the bottom, shake it, and then we're gonna squeeze. We're gonna make sure we make it all. And I used to use a coffee press for this, but I actually broke the coffee press last time, and then I did it this way. I'm like, well, this way is a lot better because the coffee press is very messy too. And I can squeeze really hard with my hand. It's one of the benefits that I have is I have a really good grip on my hand. I can squeeze pretty hard. We're getting all that out of there. Look at all that. Look at all that extraction you got. So that's pure. You got to remember this has Everclear in it, but we're going to lose about 90% of that. And we're going to evaporate it into our machine here and remove the Everclear. And this process may seem like it takes a long time, but overall it's about an hour work. And you're going to end up with 15 grams of FECO. I want you to imagine how much that would cost. Oh man, we got a spammer in here and I can't block him. Yeah, imagine how much 15 grams of FECO would cost at a dispensary, and then tell me if it's not worth it, you know? And you're making $1,200 to $1,500 worth of medicine in this process, and it's only gonna take you an hour or so. Anybody out there who is a cancer patient or who has somebody in their family that can show you this whole process, you don't need that fancy equipment, but you are gonna lose the Everclear, so you're gonna end up paying a little more for that. But the machine, like I said, if you have that machine, you only have to use it 5 times to get your money back. I'm now on my 7th time, so I definitely got my money back. Although, I think making $1,500 in FECO is worth, basically, so you get your money back the first time you make it, relatively speaking. For sure, Bobby. Too expensive, that's right. The dispensaries are too expensive. But everybody, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Don't forget to hit that like, reaction, share button, and that straight cash homie. We're going to give away some money here. As soon as I'm done squeezing here, I'll load a bowl and we'll give away some of that. I'm still squeezing alcohol out of here, which is pretty remarkable because it seems pretty dry. Once you dump it out, it's really dry shit. All right, looks like we got one more load to go here. And we're just gonna scoop it out of this jar and this is the jar that's been sitting in our freezer for a month, soaking in Everclear. So what we're trying to do is remove the Everclear out of the debris. The extraction has already happened, and now the plant material just needs the FECO. So there's a stem right there. And I recommend you don't put these in here when you're doing this because you're going to poke a hole in your bag. And definitely glad I caught that because that would have stabbed right through my bag. But stems get in there. It's not a big deal. All right. I think this is going to be the last scoop. We got a lot at the bottom here. Good old patch of black liquid. Maybe we can start calling it black gold because that's what it is. Black gold is what it is. This stuff is valuable, for people who need it. Something that can keep you alive is pretty much invaluable. All right, I think we're to the point we can just dump it in there now. We got it all out. Now we're going to do the final squeeze, and then we're going to start the process of actually extracting the Everclear back. with our machine here. So that machine that we have is basically a distiller. Right now you can only see a small pan, and then there's a top pan, which I'll show you when I get over there. And we're gonna basically, what happens is the pan heats up at the bottom with the Everclear in it, with this oil. It's attracted to the cold surface area of cold and ice water that we're gonna have in the top pan. It's gonna run through a coil, it's gonna turn into an evaporative material. So basically the Everclear will evaporate to the heat. Then the cold water will make it evaporate or go back into a solid state. It'll turn back into a liquid and drain back into the Everclear bottles. That is the goal of the machine. That is what it actually does. It's kind of used in a different purpose because it actually is used to ferment, make alcohol, but I use it kind of in a different purpose. And I bought it that way to do it this way. What's going on, Vicky? How you doing today? Appreciate you guys all joining today. It's still getting liquid out of there. It just keeps coming out. There's a lot of it still in the interior of it, so this is a 74 ounce jar. Looks like we got about 40 ounces of liquid in here. And we actually had to, this process I've now had to do every 2 weeks because you guys keep buying all my FECO oil. So I really appreciate you guys. I keep selling out. I just sold out yesterday of my FECO oil. I think I went through 15 syringes in a couple weeks. So I definitely appreciate everybody's business. Even had a guy locally who bought 5 of them. He bought 5 FECO syringes, man, around Christmas, and I appreciate that business, man. It's awesome. I like being able to offer people affordable medicine that's a lot cheaper and potent. You actually know what you're getting. You actually can watch me make it and know that it's being made in a small batch process, which is going to be a lot more potent and safe. And I'm not taking any shortcuts. Plus, nobody else they don't do this process in Illinois. They don't freeze it like I do. So if you research more on what happens when you freeze your Everclear, there's a whole kind of chemistry that happens. Can't really explain it, but it basically freezes the trichrome heads off immediately, and then it causes more extraction that is a lot more potent. But read up on that. It's pretty cool when you actually do it this way. Small batch, freeze for at least 2 weeks, and then use this machine to kind of reuse your Everclear. You can lower your cost. So if I wasn't able to reuse the Everclear, I would easily have to add probably $8 to $10 on each syringe to recoup some of the price, because it would get expensive. I would be using almost a $40 bottle of Everclear every time. Oh, so it really cuts down on my price, and then it makes me able to supply a very affordable price to people. I've gotten a lot of compliments about the price. I've gotten no complaints, so I must be doing something right. All right, I think we've squeezed everything out. I actually put a hole in my glove because I've squeezed so hard now. Dump the rest of that out. And it's better to clean it now because this stuff will stick really bad, so I'm going to do a little rinse. Clean the filter. We should have one more filter, but we're going to do a double filter here. Oh, it's right here. I think this is the filter, yeah. Nope, that's still a dirty filter. So I'm just going to filter out this again because I just want to make sure that everything is gone out of it. So we're going to do a little rinse. Put some Dawn on it. I think a little bit of debris might have gotten through it, so we're just going to make sure we double filter it again. We don't want our debris to go into the device. Otherwise, it'll get into our FECO and cause us to clog up our syringes. It's just not an overall good experience for everybody. Let's do a quick rinse and then get a towel here and wipe this off. Awesome. Donna, it's great to hear that. Yeah, it's really good for pain. So I don't experience pain a lot, but when I do, when I take the FECO oil, because pain can keep you up at night. But when you take that FECO oil before you go to bed and you have pain, my God, do you sleep really well? And sleep is really, really an important thing for pain management. I noticed that it works phenomenal for that. So if I had a few issues a couple months ago where I had a throbbing hand from an injury. I took the FECO oil like 3 a.m. finally, and I fell asleep within 20 minutes, and I slept for 6 hours. And I would have never gotten any sleep without that FECO oil. All right, get another glass jar. We got another empty glass jar. We're just going to put the filter back on it, and we're just going to dump all the liquid back through again. And we're going to make sure we're going to catch all the last impurities. This is actually a 73 micron bag, so it catches pretty much a lot of things. And we're just going to dump that liquid back through there. When we know we got everything out of it, then nothing got. We're good there. And we'll let all that run through real quick. And I can actually see it got a little debris out. Some micro stuff, which is what I was wanting to get. There we go. All right, this process is all done. We've double filtered our FECO oil. And my glove is now falling apart. You can see that's how powerful Everclear is. It actually can make your gloves just fall apart. So there we go. We made a mess over here with all the stuff we got out. Move the camera back over here and we'll load up a bowl. There we go. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with now. This is our final product before we put it into this machine here. I'm going to show you this machine right here. You can see. If you take this lid off, you can see the pan. So this is the pan it's going to go in. We're going to dump this all in here, and then we're going to start evaporating on that burner over there. There we go. It's in this final spot here. This thing has a special lid, as you can see, and I can't really show over here, but you can see it over there. This lid right here. So this lid has thermostat on it here, so I can know what temperature is. I want to keep it right under boiling, which is about 180 degrees for alcohol. And this is where all the evaporative alcohol is going to go. It's going to be drawn into here through the evaporative chambers that the coldness that's going to be in the condenser up on top, which will show you how it works. We'll put the lid on, and then we're going to use a wrench and tighten up these fittings that don't get any leakage. So these have clamps, as you can see. We're going to put 4 clamps down. You don't want any alcohol leakage, because alcohol leakage is not good. You're going to lose alcohol, and you're going to cause a fire. I need to go get my wrench real quick. I'll be right back. We got our wrenches here. We're gonna tighten our wrenches now, tighten up our fittings. And we're just going to tighten it up because we don't want any leakage. That leakage equals product loss, and product loss equals money. So we want to make sure we don't lose any of our alcohol in this process. Make sure everything's sealed up. There we go. So we'll show you this kind of how this works here and from this point of view. What's going to happen here is this is the chamber that's going to get heated on this electric burner. The Everclear is going to get hot, come through here. This is going to be full of cold water, which is hooked up to this pump over here. This pump is going to circulate more cold water in here to keep this chamber cold, because it's important that it's cold because this is where the condensing happens. So it's going to turn from an evaporative form back into a liquid when it hits the cold air, the cold liquid, whatever you want to say. And then it's going to come out this bottom tube here and go right back into this Everclear bottle that we're going to have placed right under here. So we'll put back, I like dealing with glass, so that other bottle where there's plastic, so we're going to put our glass Everclear bottle under there to catch everything. And just like that. And we got a few dishes to do, but other than that, we really didn't make much of a mess. It's not very bad and hard to do. Get some more alcohol out of the way there, and then we're going to move these containers. We got just a couple of containers we made dirty. Other than that, not much dishes. We move some of the stuff out of the way. The bad thing is that Everclear is really hard to kind of clean, so you do have to, the best way to clean it off of a glass surface is to put it in really hot water with Dawn. Sit it there for 5 minutes and you're good to go. Because it's really sticky. Once the Everclear dries, it's really fucking sticky glass. So it may seem like it's hard to get off, but a little bit of Dawn, heat. And we're cleaning up as we go. Like I said, this alcohol will stain your countertops if you do not remove it. It looks like I already stained my countertop over here. It happened. So I got a couple stains on everywhere on my countertop. But I need to get some silicone countertop protectors. I know they make them, so when I do stuff like that, I'm not going to get shit all over my countertops. It's going to ruin them. I got a green mark here too, and then I got a brown mark over there on the countertop from doing this process. So we totally forgot to do something downstairs real quick, so let's go do that. I got my mushroom business is in my house, so I kind of have shit going on all the time, all over. So let's go downstairs real quick, and then we'll come back up, smoke a bowl, and give that away. Quick 2-minute process that I got to do down there. I think everything's safe up here. Just gonna make sure I didn't have anything on. So our grain, we make our own grain in house, and the grain is made through a process that I do that takes about 24 hours. And basically, it's been sitting. Our grain's been sitting inside of this bucket for the last 24 hours. I need to clean the stable off real quick. So we'll do that. What we're going to do is, it's been sitting in water with gypsum and lime. We're going to pull that bag out, and we're going to put it all on this table, and we're going to let it dry out for a couple hours. And what this does is allow the grain that our mushrooms grow in, it allows the grain to hold moisture, but the outside of the grain is going to be dry. So this is the mushrooms really like to grow in that kind of situation. They don't like the grain to be wet on the outside. They want the moisture inside. So this process here is something I've kind of perfected over the last 2 years. It's taken a lot of hours of fucking up, a lot of money, and a lot of time of just doing different things and seeing how it does. So this process that I've done now has worked the best, and I've been doing it for about 6 months now. So I use these are just old sheets that you would see, in your bedding. These work really great. And we're basically going to throw this down, and then we're going to put the grain on it. This is polyester material as well. If you use cotton, the grain will stick to the cotton, and you're going to have a hell of a mess. So during this process, you definitely have to use a polyester sheet because the grain will not stick to it. So that was another lesson I learned the hard way. So we're going to show you here. I'm going to pull this grain bag out of this bag, and then we're going to hang it, and then we're going to go back upstairs. So this part, I have to actually hang the grain and grain it. And I have to find something to hang it on here. Give me a second. Find my hooks. So we got all these hooks all over my basement, and I needed one real quick. So these are just our regular cinch hooks that you usually hang your grow lights on. And we're gonna hang the bucket from that. Not the bucket, but the bag we're gonna pull out of this bucket. And it's gonna hang from the ceiling. There we go. All right, now we're gonna, like I said, this bag has been sitting in water. It was actually boiling hot water when it went in, and it's been mixed in with gypsum and lime. The gypsum is adding a nutrient, and the lime is pasteurizing the stuff. So you can see here, getting out all that liquid now. We're gonna hang it here for about 20 minutes or whatever, maybe less. Just like that. And we wanted to basically drain all that out of it before we start laying it on the table. So we'll just let that drain out of there for a bit. Just stop dripping. And we'll come right back down here in a second and put that out on there on the table. Again, these are they're called clean whole oats. These are it right here. You buy them at a local farm and home store. And they're a cheap alternative to using some of the more expensive products on the market. So that's the hardest thing about mushroom farming is you have to find products local to you that are going to be 60 to 70% less than you buying them online. And not every place around you is going to offer the same products that somebody else may have to be able to buy in another part of the country. So you have to kind of find a grain that works. So any kind of hard grain that can hold moisture is going to work really well. Those whole oats work phenomenal, and I've actually had to experiment over the years, so it's taken a kind of learning how to use them properly to grow with them. They are at risk of more of a contamination than your other grains. That's the bad part, but you're going to be paying a lot less. I think we're done down here. We'll let that keep dripping, and we'll go back upstairs. And we'll show you. Everybody doesn't see it. This is the fruiting tent, where all the mushrooms actually grow. Let me turn the light on too. So this is actually the control panel that kind of controls the fruiting tent. It has a humidifier control. It has my control for my humidifier, like I said, but it's actually an atomizer is actually the real term for it. And this is where all our mushrooms grow. It's kind of empty right now, but it'll be getting full here in the next few weeks. It's actually really clean. It smells really clean in here. We started a whole new... Oh, I just lost my camera. My phone must have died. But I thought I was charging it. But yeah, we have a whole... this is the atomizer machine right here that creates the humidity that pumps out through these pipes. And we do have to add a couple more pipes, so we bought out the place that sells them. And this is where we grow our mushrooms in. This is the environment that I create that simulates what mushrooms like. So I have the proper moisture, I have the proper humidity, I have the proper temperature. Right now it's 59 degrees in here and it's 80% humidity. And the mushrooms really like cold temps. And another important factor is your air. They like fresh air, which is hard to do when you're doing humidifying systems. So the best way to do that is you basically the humidifier will go on, the mist will land everywhere. This whole room actually fills up with a fine mist, and you can't see anything. And then you create an air outtake. So there's an air outtake over here, this pipe behind me, and the air it goes on for 20 minutes every hour, and it basically sucks all the air out of the tent, and then it's going to bring in fresh air from the vents that I have open from other places, including this one that actually filters this air from inside. So it's taking a livable air inside that's from inside of my house, and then an exhaust that's outside the house. So all that used kind of oxygen mixed with CO2 and humidity gets pumped out of my house through this machine, this stuff over here, which this is the back side of the tent. There's a wall here, and then we have all of our equipment back here that kind of controls everything. We have our exhaust fan, we have our air conditioner when we need it, which we only turn that on about 4 or 5 months during the summer when it gets really hot outside. This system can be improved. It's something that I will improve. I definitely need a bigger system than a 4-inch. It needs to be a 6-inch. So eventually we'll upgrade to the AC Infinity 6-inch fan. But right now it's working fine. We're able to grow mushrooms. It works great. Yeah, you can see that's all the equipment it takes to run the fruiting tent for the commercial business. And this tent is a 5x10 tent. You can kind of see the whole gist of it here, and all the equipment it takes to kind of make this work. So if you want to get into mushroom business, it's not easy, that's for sure. You have to learn how to do all this, and that's the hardest thing that people give up on, because not only do you have to learn how to grow mushrooms, but you have to learn how to do this. You have to learn how to set up the environment needed to actually grow them. And a lot of people fail at that part because either they don't have the knowledge or they just don't have the money to buy the equipment it requires. And this started out as a hobby, and it's turned into a legit passion and business of mine. So. And it fascinates me every day. I can walk downstairs and be fascinated in my own house. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? You got stuff grown in there that most people have never even seen, So that bag's still dripping. We're gonna come down back in 20 minutes. We can actually start this whole process. I need to find out what happened to my phone. I think I killed it. Let's check it out. We definitely killed it. So we forgot to plug the charger in. That was my fault. So I had everything turned off over there because I turned the pump off that runs this ice machine. So we're gonna start doing the FECO oil. Actually, not the FECO. The elderberry syrup. So I have all my ingredients for my elderberry syrup. I'm actually making 5 bottles today. And I already have all the ingredients. Look, my elderberry syrup is basically pretty simple. We got our recipe right here. I don't hide the fact. I don't hide my ingredients. I don't hide my recipe. When you pay for my stuff, you're basically paying for the love and labor of actually making the syrup. So I don't hide my recipe from anybody. You're welcome to know exactly what's in the stuff you buy, even if you want to make it at home. But you got to take the love and labor. You make it at home then. So by that point, it's almost better just to buy it from me. So we basically we got 4 cups of water that we're going to start out with first. We got 4 cups of some filtered water going in. And this is our fan we're going to use. I like using a little bit larger fan because you're going to get a lot bigger evaporative surface, because evaporating is important when you're making this elderberry syrup. So we got the coffee too. Cheers, everybody. I just had to warm it up in the can't even think the microwave. I forgot to take my lion's mane this morning, and I can really tell I've kind of slacked off of taking my lion's mane lately because of the holidays, and because I've actually felt really good lately. And sometimes when you're feeling good, you forget to take stuff that is making you feel good, and you know that's the process my brain works. You're like, oh, I'm feeling good today. Maybe I shouldn't take the stuff that makes me feel good in the first place. So I'll actually take my lion's mane now since I'm thinking about it. And I usually consume 3 capsules a day because I just like, I make my own medicine, so why not take more? And I usually combine it with the CBD, CBG. So I got my CBD, CBG, 60 milligrams. That's the stuff I make and sell on my website. And then I got 3 caps of 500 milligrams of lion's mane. And these 4 capsules right here, man, they make you feel really good. They make your body feel good. They make your brain feel good. They make just life better, you know? Now I gotta find my water. Where it went. Yeah, the lion's mane is great for cognitive, and then the lion's mane has an effect on your stomach as well with your bacteria, and it kind of works like a probiotic by helping your gut bacteria in a healthy way, and that's why it's really good for mild anxiety and depression as well, because it basically works through that. So here's, we're going to take all that. What's going on, Shane? How you doing, Shauna? Nicole? I know I've been seeing the comments, but I haven't said much. Becca, how you doing? Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate you got 20 people in here and 34 reactions. Much love to everybody. Much love, as I keep trying to say now, with adding the mushroom. Much love. Don't forget to hit that love. Don't forget to hit that reaction button. Tag some friends in. People, you can always watch this afterwards and learn something too. And everything else. My mind's kind of squirrely today because, like I said, I didn't take my lion's mane. And I haven't been working lately as well. So my brain, you're not in a normal routine. Your brain kind of starts the squirrel moment. But in a couple months, my life will be pretty normal. These farmers markets will start back up, and I won't be so bored. Well, I'm not bored. Just have a lot more to do, because my job that I don't have that we're kind of off from right now because it's too cold to do roofing, basically keeps me in a rhythm, and it makes me actually do a lot more. So when I used to get off of work, I'd actually do a lot more after work because I was already motivated to wait and ready to roll, Wait, who's making tacos? It's Taco Tuesday, but it's on Friday? Oh yeah, let's give away this too. I didn't forget, but where's my at? There we go. Straight cash only. We got 25 people in here. I'm just giving away this, and I'll give away another $5 after. Why not? We'll cash tag somebody. Not cash. As I said, cash tag. That's not even a word. Cash app somebody's money. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. I'll give you guys one more minute to get in there. I'm gonna load my bowl up. My bowl is clogged. There we go. And anybody who knows the straight cash reference, let me know, because there's not a lot of people who know where the reference to straight cash homie came from. I'll give you a hint. It was from a famous NFL football player. He once said it when he wanted a big contract. And I think it was from the early 2000s. He made the public comment. And he was like, "Straight cash, homie. That's what I want. Straight cash." I never did forget that because it was so hilarious. That was when I was really into all kinds of sports, and not so much. I just watch the NFL now. Oh, what happened to my Keef? There it is. I was looking for my Keef thread. Yeah, good luck, everybody. All right, let's draw this. We got 29 entries. Good luck, everybody. Who's it gonna be? Debbie Pot. Debbie Pot. I'm pretty sure Debbie Pot is still here because I just saw her comment. Let's get it, Debbie. Debbie, are you here? You said over party to be here, though. I really want cash. I kind of need you to send me the cash. Debbie. Oh, I just hate that. It's going to clock twice. Damn it. Congrats, Debbie. But since I didn't make that clear, I'll give her a little moment to get in here. I got a timer here. If she's not here, set this cool little timer that I found at the store that you really can't find anymore. The old analog timers. Debbie Pot, are you here? Did I miss her comment? I don't think I did. Give her a second here. It took me a while to give that away, so I understand some people are here. You know what? I'm just going to give it to her because I didn't make that clear. Debbie Pot, I'll message you anyway, even though you're not here. But the second one we're going to give away, you definitely got to be here. So congrats, Debbie Pot, even though you're not here, but I didn't make that clear. So let's give that hashtag again. I'm going to do the same thing. Big cash homie. And let me make sure I write down Debbie Pot. I think I can remember that name. Oh, I got a pencil here. And let's go back and hashtag that again. Big cash only, but this time you got to be here. I'll win this one, but I'm going to give it away pretty quickly. All right, I think I spelled it right. Let's go. Randy Moss. Yeah. Yeah, it was Randy Moss. No, I was actually thinking T.O., but I couldn't remember. Well, let's give that hashtag again. It says there's 11 entries in there, but I don't know if that's true. Well, maybe 11 people did get in there yet. I don't know. Sometimes it's weird. The StreamYard giveaway tool. But let's get this elderberry going real fast here too. Let me get that going while I hit this bowl because it's only gonna take 5 seconds here to heat up. And I think I'm right there. There we go. What's going on, Jenna? So we added our 4 cups of water. We're gonna add the elderberries. We got 2 cups, 1 cup of elderberries. We got 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of cloves going into. And then we got ginger. This is all cut up sliced ginger, and it's pretty powerful stuff, so you don't need too much of it. It's going all inside of here, and now we're gonna boil it to a boil. And that's just gonna sit here and simmer. As you can see, we got all the ingredients combined in here, this pan with water. Now we're gonna start our scared the shit out of me. Timer. I'm just gonna stir it randomly here to kind of stir all the ingredients. And what we're doing here is we're actually infusing the liquid into the water. I mean, all the medicine into the water. So we're going to be left with kind of a syrup at the end. So it's going to smell really good in my house too. I'm going to tell you how much this stuff smells so good. And you get all this stuff boiling in the pan. So basically we're going to get it up to boiling. We're going to simmer it down, and then we're going to simmer for 30 minutes. And that's all the process requires. Then we're going to filter it through our filter system over here and bottle it up. So I know a few of you have bought the actual elderberries and it was in our plastic bottles. That was only for temporary. We now have our 4-ounce glass bottles with a glass beaker, or whatever you call it, syringe. Or I can't think of the word that is to think right now that I'm trying to think of. But that little thing right there is all glass. So it's really high quality stuff. And I believe you basically will take that and fill that up about halfway for children and all the way up for an adult. And that will be probably about your daily dose. I have not measured it out yet, but I don't know how big that dropper is. But yeah, that's going to be a lot better now. We actually, oh, there's Debbie Pot. Congratulations again. Congratulations on winning that first 5. It's got quiet in here. My music shut off. Let's get some reggae going. There you go. Congrats. Yeah, the dropper. So Joe Kelly's got the right words. I knew that lion's mane to kick in. I took 3. It really does make a difference because when I don't take it regularly, I struggle to put together words sometimes. And then when you have it all, you're like, man, my brain's just, words are coming out like I want them to. You're not stuttering so much. And you're just able to speak a lot more of what you're thinking. So that's one of the benefits of lion's mane. And a lot of times you may not be able to tell what it does, but you can tell what it does when you stop taking it. Then you're like, brain's just not working as efficiently as it was when it was working. And then the honey goes in last. So we have 1 cup of honey here. That goes in separate because you do not want to boil honey. You're going to ruin the medical value of the honey if you boil it. So the honey goes in very last after we separate, filter everything out. We're going to add our honey once the temperature drops. That's very important. Once honey goes over 110 degrees, you are starting to destroy the medical value of honey. You go over 150, you basically have no medical value at all. Really, you're burning the honey and all of its medical value out of it. So just remember that when you mess around with honey, it has a low temperature infusion rate. And when we make our honey at Great River Mushrooms, we do ours at 2 hours at 110 degrees. We do a low temp infusion. It's very important with the honey. I used to do that with 140 degree back in the day, but you live and learn. That was before I sold it. And I used to do it like 140 degree honey infusion, and it's a lot easier to do because you're at a warmer temperature. It's a lot easier to pour, filter, etc. But you're also losing the medical value, and that's something that I've learned since then. So. Oh, that's all right, Debbie. I decided to give it to you the second time I'm making people be here, but I didn't make that clear when I made the hashtag. Plus, I've been live for 1 hour and 38 minutes, so I didn't expect people to sit there for an hour and a half to get that. But I'll send it to you, Debbie. Send me your hashtag, your Cash App or Venmo, and I'll send that to you. Live is over. And cheers. We got some. This is Pauhua. Yeah, Pauhua mixed with a little bit of some keef on top. What I did was I actually took some cannabis that I didn't think was very good, and I ran it through my really, really big filter screen that I have on my grinder. I just rubbed it over, and I got a whole bunch of keef out of it. Now I've been sprinkling over it, so that's a great way to turn weed that's old and not very potent. Run it through one of your bigger grinders and that big screen. Just run your finger around it, and you can get a lot of that keef out of there, and sprinkle it on your bowl. So cheers, folks. Oh, Debbie. I didn't even explain what I want. I was just giving away money. So I'll just send you $5. I'll buy you a coffee in the morning and or something. Nice little gesture to start the year. It's not much, but I appreciate everybody out there. Oh, man. That was a good hit. That was a good Friday hit. But again, we're just sitting here making our FECO, which we need to start making now, which is kind of a slow process anyway. But my camera died over there, so you can't really see it anymore. And my music keeps dying because I don't know why it keeps dying. Well, for a minute there, I thought I got disconnected from the live, but we're good. We got 22 people in the house, 39 reactions. You guys are awesome people. Appreciate you guys joining me. Beautiful Friday. We're just sitting here making medicine in the kitchen, live in the kitchen. You can see that That cinnamon and that honey and everything else is melting in here now. Smells so good. Our liquid's in here. We're now going to pack this thing with cold water, which we have over here. I'm going to get it on with cold water. I'm going to try to get this phone back up so you can see it all. So we have cold water and we put it inside the freezer. So it's really, really cold now. It actually froze a little bit. I hope it didn't freeze solid, but there's no way it did in an hour. Want that cold water? There we go. Want that water to be cold because it's going to be. It's going to allow the condensing to happen. Basically, the Everclear is going to turn into a vapor back into a solid state. Well, we got that cold water. We're going to start pumping it in here now. We have these valves up here on top here. We have these shut-off valves that are going to control my water flow. So right now I'm just going to open the top one and let it flow in and fill this container up really slow. Then we have a valve that is the drain valve that's going to drain everything out. We're going to get our second device back up here in a second. Get that device back up that went off. I think you'll be able to see it better over here. There we go. Kitchen can. It might get off, so I don't know why it'd be echoing, but it definitely is. Give me a second. Echo. Echo's gone. Yeah, a slight echo, but we're good back online. You're going to see how this device works. We'll put the other camera back here. Right there, and this bottle's going to end up filling up. We're going to put a bunch of ice up in here. And our elderberry syrup just reached boiling point, so now we're going to simmer that down to a medium heat. And we're going to put a timer on for 25 minutes. Why do we do 25 minutes? Because we got the same kind of condensation rate every time we make it. So 25 minutes on the timer, we're going to let it simmer. And we kind of have a mark on our stove here. I know you can't see me. Mark on our stove here, kind of marking where I like to be at with this temperature. It is kind of boiling still. And we keep stirring it to kind of make it simmer. Turn it down and then turn it back up here in a second. 25 minutes simmer time is really what we want with the elderberry syrup. We're going to put a big old chunk of ice inside of this ice here. We're going to start turning everything on here. So you're going to see water fill up in here. So we're going to plug this device in. And start filling it up with water. You can see water's going into here now. We're going to fill this whole thing up, and we want it to be really cold. And we're going to start boiling our Everclear now. It has a temperature gauge on it, and it's going to be about 100. What's the boiling point of Everclear? I think it's 100. I can't remember, 170 degrees, somewhere around there. It's a lot lower than your boiling point of water. Lost my comments. A bit of echo there. What's going on, Joe? Use the screw press to strain the stuff before you put the honey in it. Yeah, I do have a strain press, but it's really easy to strain out the elderberries. So I don't really have to use my press. It's really hard to do any other kind of product. I can usually strain it out really well, the elderberries, with my hand. The size pump that I need the pump that came with it, I think it's just a little, looks like the same size pump. I'm just making sure everything's safe. It'd be the same size pump that you would that I have in my hydroponic bucket, my Plum King. So it's gonna heat up slowly here. We're just gonna monitor it, and like I said, it should be safe because this is not a closed system, so there's not gonna be like an explosion. There's nothing like that. This system is completely open-ended, so there's no kind of compression that builds up. The only gauge that is on there is the gauge that helps me gauge the temperature, and we want to get it up to that point of boiling. Let me look real quick what it is. Our container's full now. We're boiling up now. Let me see what that is. Boiling point of Everclear. $173 degrees, that's right. So 173 degrees is what we want to get around when that Everclear starts to boil. And we have a system here now that this is off now, and now we're slowly draining the water out back down here where it will contain cold water. So we're going to put a little more water in here and a little more ice. We want to keep it cold. So we're at 90 degrees. It's going to heat up pretty fast. Everclear heats up. This little pan's going to heat up really fast. And about 170 degrees when we should start seeing some water, some Everclear go into this container. And we're going to put a little bit more cold water in here. We're just going to use the sink water, let it run for a second. We're at 120 degrees now. You can kind of see, I don't know if you see the gauge on that, but the gauge is right here. I don't see any leaks, but I don't see anything evaporating yet. The condenser is still very cold. We're going to put some more water in here because our pump will go dry. We're going to keep this system going. We want it to kind of loop through there and kind of circulate cold water while it's going. So I also use ice packs. They work great too. I have a whole bunch of ice packs in my freezer I'll get out because I might not have enough ice. So we'll find out. We're at 140 degrees now. making a lot of noises because what's happening is it's kind of boiling in there, but it's not boiling enough for it to evaporate. So it's kind of if I would open it up, it would be kind of boiling, but not enough to evaporate it, if that makes sense. It does make a lot of noise, which can be concerning when you're making this. But I've done this a few times, and that noise is pretty normal. It's kind of hey, what's going on, Tasha? How you doing? You relatively, Karen, you lose this question here. You lose about 20% of the alcohol. There's kind of a point where you kind of have to keep turning it off and checking the pan and because you don't want to take too much out because then you're going to burn it. So at the end, you kind of want to leave enough alcohol in there, and then I'm going to use a candle burner to evaporate the rest of it. We're almost there. We're at 160 degrees. We're about 10 degrees away from evaporation happening. We got some ice blocking our thing too. That's another thing you deal with. Sometimes you get ice blocking, and I finally got it unclogged, but that can become an issue if you don't unblock the ice. It's important that it stays cold. Now we got some stuff heating up now. Evaporation is now happening, and we are getting our liquid now. So the whole process is now working. We'll see right here. We got some Everclear dripping down here. It's a pure liquid. We're trying to get to that perfect temperature. I've never used this device, and this electric burner. So I don't know what gauge to put it at to get the proper temperature. But we now have alcohol coming out, so we need to heat it up just a little bit more. Now we got a nice drizzle coming out, but it'll get actually faster than that here in a second. The way that liquid works is when, say once the draw starts happening or starts to happen, the rest of the alcohol kind of follows quickly. So a drizzle will actually turn into a really good pour here in a second. Once it really starts flowing, that's at least from what I've noticed. And then when the process slows down, it kind of turns more into a drizzle. But once you get it really going, you can get a nice flow going. It's because the fluid's just following the fluid in front of it. But we're at right about that evaporated point. We're about 170 degrees. And we're getting a nice drizzle now, and it's getting a little higher, so we're probably going to increase the temp. We overflowed our pan too, but that's going to happen. That's why we got this towel ready. I overflowed the pan. But that's not the first time. I wasn't watching the valves. Sometimes you have to sit here and control and close the valves, and sometimes you just have to monitor them. We got a nice flow coming out now, nice little drizzle. So this process is working just like we want it to. Did it come with the pump? Yes, Joe Kelly, when I bought this little device, when I bought this distiller, it came with a pump. And this big piece right here is part of the distiller, but I don't use it because it's too large. So unless you're making like 5 gallons of FECO, which I don't make that much at once, this is really just a good pan to cook with. So I use this pan below here to actually make my soup in now. It's a great stainless steel pan, but it comes with this other option here, and so I can use the smaller pan to put my FECO in for smaller batches and then hook it up like this. So it came with 3 separate chambers, and one of them is the condensing chamber, one of them was the holding chamber, and then this other chamber is meant for something in the alcohol process. But I'm obviously not making alcohol, so I do not need that third chamber to do that. So it's on. It's on Amazon. I bought this distiller like 4 or 5 years ago, and it was $125. I think it's now $160 now, maybe $180. So it has gone up a little bit, but it's all stainless steel. Everybody knows how expensive pure stainless steel is, but it lasts forever. Shit's awesome. I've used this now 7 times. I've already well surpassed what I spent on it, so. It's dripping now, so we probably need to increase the temperature just a little bit. It says it's maxed out, so. You might not be able to get any more heat on it, which maybe has right at that evaporative point, so it seems to be working fine. I'd rather work a little faster though, because otherwise you're going to run out of ice. And we still got our elderberry syrup over here. Like I said, I like multitasking in the kitchen. I don't like sitting around waiting for something, so I'll do another activity. And we're over here making our elderberry syrup. It still has 12 minutes on it, and we're basically just letting everything simmer and saturate in a more simmering heat. So basically get it to boiling, turn the temperature down 70%, and then simmer it. So I'm going to increase the temperature. I like to finish off. I like to kind of simmer at a lower temp and then boil off at the end. So the last 10 minutes, I'm going to increase the temperature a little bit and keep it right below boiling. And what that's going to do as well is kill any pathogens that may form as well, because this is part of the process of doing that. But another thing is, there aren't any pathogens that are really interested in growing in this, because this is all natural antibody, antibacterial stuff in here. So it's just like coconut oil. You'll never see any mold grown coconut oil because it's not possible, because coconut oil has antibacterial properties. The same thing with this stuff. You'll never see mold growing on your elderberry syrup because everything in it has antibacterial properties. That is another reason why I make my CBD, CBG infused with coconut oil, because then I never do have to worry about somebody getting sick from that coconut oil. So just remember that there are products out there that contain natural antibacterial properties, and then when you infuse them, you don't have to really worry about that whole sterilization process. Although that is important to get to a point where you sterilize the product when you jar it up. So it's going to go in this jar nearly boiling, and there's not going to be anything in there that's going to grow. So I do a hot water bath. So the way that works is I'm going to stick these products once they're fully the liquid's in there. I'm going to put them in a water bath put it right up to boiling, and then turn the water completely off, and then let it simmer in there for about 10-15 minutes. So we got a good boil going here. We need to put some more ice in here. So all we got to do is just circulate all this water, which we're going to do now. Get some more ice going in here. I like using these ice blocks first. So we got ice blocks. We're just going to put them in our container over here. And just like that, we got more cold water going in here, just like we need. And we'll put another one in that one. Then we want to keep the ice in the top chamber. It doesn't melt very fast, but it's going to keep it a lot colder. Bad thing is it's squirting water everywhere, so we're going to have to put it in the pocket there. Because it's blowing hot water on my burner. It's blowing cold water. So what we did is we just put this ice block in there, and now we're just blocking this water from splashing everywhere. So we just put the ice block in here, filling it back up now with some more cold water. It's important that water is cold, because that's what it's making it condense and allowing this all to happen. And now we got a good drip going again. just gonna put a whole bunch of these cold packs in here. We get that cold water going. And you don't have to use your ice up. So if you have cold water packs, works great. We got a good flow going again. But we've already got a whole bunch out of here. You can see this bottle is filling up pretty quickly. But with the process of doing this, the end process is kind of hard. Now, I have totally burned a product before. It was my second batch I ever made. I ended up burning the FECO oil, and I ruined it. And my first batch was excellent. My third batch was excellent. My second batch, I burned it. My fifth batch, the last batch I made, I nearly burned it. I opened the lid up right before it evaporated all the Everclear. So you have to get to that point where you're getting your Everclear extracted, but you're leaving some in there because you don't want to remove it all. If you remove it all, the burning process starts, and then you're going to start to burn your feet. You got that magic butter machine. I'm not straining any honey, Joe. The honey goes in last in my elderberry syrup. So this elderberry syrup that I'm making, I got a whole cup of honey sitting over there, and that's going to go into this after I strain it. So I'm going to filter this syrup in through this filter, and then we're going to add the rest of the honey and stir it. But the point of doing that is the medical value of honey. You start to lose that when you go over 110 degrees. So it's important to stay below 110 degrees. Now, again, this stuff is boiling in here, so you're well over that, you know. So just remember that when you're doing any kind of honey infusions, you're 110 degrees or more, you're losing your medical value of the honey. At that point, it's kind of pointless, you know. So I like to infuse products that are not only that add value to the marijuana. So if you use any kind of cannabis product and you're using it with honey or you're using it with coconut oil, those two products are well superior to any kind of choice with butter, because obviously butter can be bad when taken in large amounts. But coconut oil and your honey are actually, those are medicines alone. Those two things are standalone as medicines. I like to infuse my products and things that add value to the product you're actually getting. So I used to make a lot of edibles, and I used to use a lot of red dyes, and I did a lot of research on red dyes, and I really wish red dyes were illegal, man. I know a lot of people in our community use them in our edibles, and I don't. It's really kind of defeating the purpose of how good cannabis is when you putting red dye in it, because red dye actually has an influence on your brain. And when you're putting cannabis in your brain, you're kind of trying to do the opposite. So it's kind of like when you mix red dye and cannabis, it's kind of like trying to lift weights while you're smoking a cigarette. That's kind of what I feel it is. It's kind of defeating the purpose of it. So people just need to be more educated on what red dye does and the effects it does on brains of even adults, because it just doesn't have an effect on kids. It has an effect on children, adult brains as well. So that's when I started getting into more coconut oils and more FECO and other products that don't incorporate red dyes. I know there are dyes out there that you can get that work great, that aren't petroleum based, but they're way more expensive and they're very limited too. Burned it one time. Yeah, you could keep it low, Joe, but eventually the Everclear all goes out, and then you're just left with the FECO oil, and you're at 170 degrees. But it's hard to tell when you're running out of FECO in there. You kind of have to. I actually, in a minute, I'll probably open it up and look in there and kind of evaluate how much is left. And you really, right when it stops dripping is really when you want to turn it off. And then I'm gonna transfer it over to another jar, and we're gonna use a candle warmer, which we have here. Get that. Then we'll put it in another glass jar, and then we'll use this. So this is just your wax burner. This works excellent to burn off the rest of the FECO that's going to be left, or the rest of the alcohol that's going to be left in the FECO. So I'll just leave it on that candle warmer overnight, and that will allow it to evaporate without burning the remaining FECO. Really, that's the best way to finish it off is one of these after you do, if you do any kind of heat evaporation. So we're just monitoring our temperatures here. We're getting kind of warm again. We're going to throw some more ice in here. Throw some more ice. We do have plenty of room on the ice. I usually try to buy a 5-gallon bag, but sometimes it can take that much. No ice, but I've made do with less. It seems to be doing its job. It's dripping out, and it's pretty clear, ever clear. All right. But you have to remember, as ice melts, it accumulates. So your thing below is going to fill up with that melted ice. So it's good to use a cup and just take a little bit of water out as it dries. Otherwise, you're going to overflow. So we just take out a little bit of water and dump it out. So we got a really good flow drip going now. You can see the Everclear, how much Everclear we've got now. So this jar was empty. This is a full 2 liter, well, your full liter bottle, I guess, as you refer to it in the alcohol industry. And we've accumulated a lot. The finger is wet. There we go. Trying to make sure keep up with the comments. Yeah, the Honey Joe for sure. Heck yeah. But the great thing about this, I just found out about this burner, is the max temperature is actually 170 degrees. So I don't know how you would boil water on it when nothing goes over 180. So don't get that $12 burner at Walmart if you're expecting to boil water. But working pretty well. It's slowing down. We're at 175 degrees, pretty much on the dot. And we're getting to a point where we'll open the lid up. And again, this is this is not any kind of, this is no pressurized system. I can stop this heat here, and I can open the lid up and check. Which I do have some gloves I wear, of course. So we got those pan holder gloves when we open it up, because it's going to be boiling hot. And we're going to open it up, and we're just going to check and see how much liquid's left. I'm probably going to give it here in a second, because we got a pretty large amount of alcohol out of it now. So I have to assume we're approaching the point where, well, we'll check it right now. Actually, we'll turn it off. Turn it off and open up this lid. And we're just going to look and see how much alcohol is left in it. And we'll see it here in the camera. I think you can see that. Yep. And it's going to be kind of a little volatile. So, it's going to be boiled in there. It might be splashing a little bit. So just be careful when you open it up. Again, this is the completely, turn off that timer. Again, this is an open loop system, so it's not like pressurized. And you can smell now the cannabinoids on it. I can actually smell the cannabis as it starts to condense. And I open this up. Of course, I can smell the alcohol too. But the lid latch likes to get stuck, so sometimes you do have to get a knife. Like, I can't get my finger on it with these gloves on, so I'm gonna pry that lid up, that prong, without touching it. It is hot as hell. Open this up and look. And we have a pretty large amount left. It is boiling right now. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. There you go. See the boiling happening? Again, that is the alcohol evaporating. So we still have quite a bit in there left. We're going to latch the lid back up and keep the system going. But you can see how much we got out of it. You know, we've already extracted at least $20 worth of Everclear. So again, we're turning it back on high again. This is a burner, electric burner, so everything is safe. We're not having any kind of gas, open flame. So we're turning it right back on, even if we spill a little bit of alcohol on the outside. It's safe to use. So it's going to take a second to get right back going again, but it's not going to take long. There it goes. And we still have quite a bit in there, so I think we're probably going to check it again here, make a little bit of black mark, if I can find my black marker. Let me get my black marker. So we're going to make a little mark on the bottle just where I think I'm going to need to check again. When it fills up to there, I'll probably check again. And again, we're just making sure this water is staying cold, and it's not again, so we're going to circulate some good water in there. Drain it, circulate it. Let's get this arm going over here so you guys can see this a little better. There you go. See the condenser up here. Draining the water now. Now we're going to pump in some cold. And again, we're splashing again, which is trying not to do. But it gets, basically, the ice gets caught inside this chamber, and then it's inside the hose, and it kind of comes out at a fast pace. It wants to splash everywhere. So we'll just use our fingers to kind of keep it from splashing, because it's splashing all over our burner. And we're going to close it back up, and we're going to throw some more ice in here. Get a little bit of ice going out of the ice maker. There we go. Keep it nice and cold now. And we'll try to circulate some water through here a little better. It's flowing pretty good now. We got a pretty good flow going out through this bottle now. And that elderberry syrup is all done now. We're gonna nice condensed liquid now. And now we're gonna put it into this through this jar here. Let's move this over here where you can see it. I'm going to dump it right into here and then add the honey. Pretty simple to do. We're just going to go straight out of this pan and try not to miss. We got to put our filter bag in a little better. There we go. I probably like to do it over the sink, but show it here. I'm pretty good at doing it now. All coming through there. And we're just going to get the rest of it out, and then we're going to squeeze all the berries once it cools down a little, because it is going to be really hot. So we get all these berries in here too. It's also important that if you do make your own elderberry syrup, that you boil elderberries, because they actually contain cyanide. So you have to actually boil them to break down the cyanide to make them safe to eat. Otherwise, if you eat raw elderberries, they can actually make you sick, give you a really bad stomach ache because of the cyanide in it. But believe it or not, there's actually cyanide in a lot of things that are actually beneficial for you, but you have to cook them to break down the cyanide. So that's an important step. I don't know what else to do with these elderberries once I've infused them. I've been throwing them away, but I don't think there's anything of value inside the elderberries anymore. Now that I've done this infusion process, All right, we got it all out of there. We're going to let that cool down a little bit too, and then we're going to add our full cup of honey in that process. Our Everclear is still leaking out here. Probably could check it again. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. And again, this is just going to have to cool down a second before I can actually, because it's too hot to squeeze anything out of it right now. Check something real quick too, guys. Just to check a message real quick. All right, we're still dripping. I think we're gonna check it here real quick. See how the Everclear is doing. So again, we got both of our gloves on. Let's shut our valves off too. Again, these clips get stuck, so I gotta move them like that because it's too hot. There we go. Still quite a bit left. I smelled something burning for a minute. I don't know what it was. But it's just this burner. These cheap burners do sometimes just smell weird. Got a little bit of water leaking everywhere, but let's clean that up real quick. That's from our pan overflowing earlier. Got a little water leaking all over. But yes, this batch of elderberry syrup is going to be sold at tomorrow's farmers market. If I sell out, I make more. I make it usually in small batches. So the recipe that I just did is going to make 5 jars. I eventually will make more of them once I sell more of them, but relatively speaking, they're going to be 1 to 2 weeks old if you buy them. I keep them in the fridge, or actually keep them in the freezer for long-term storage. It'll last for 6 months. If you keep them in the fridge, it'll last for weeks. I don't know why it wouldn't last longer than that, honestly, and longer in the fridge, because there's nothing in there that really kind of breaks down. You just try to mix it, if it settles. All right, we'll turn this burner back on and get this going again. We cleaned up all that water. And we'll throw some more ice in here too, to try to remove. You have to remove some water in here. It's getting kind of full. And all right, we got some water, some alcohol coming out again. We're gonna get some more ice in here, keep that cold. Hopefully we'll have enough ice. Just put a little less more in there. Wasn't too much alcohol left in there, almost to the point of evaporation. And we can probably smoke a bowl here too. But we're gonna add that honey too, because usually when that elderberry drips out, it usually comes out it more, cools down pretty fast. So here we have our 1 cup of honey, and we do use this particular brand. Since I do ship all over, I kind of pick a brand that's kind of Midwest, and this is the brand that I use for all my honey products. This stuff is awesome stuff, and probably some of you have seen it. It's raw and unfiltered. They kind of buy a couple of honeys from the Midwest, and then they mix them together. So it's a combination of different honeys. So you kind of get all these different medicine from all this different kinds of honey, All right, still a little too warm. Try to mix the honey in. So we'll load that bowl up here. Smoke it with you guys. And watch that stuff just drippy drip. Again, this stuff we did raise the price. I know a few of you bought the elderberry syrup and it was $10. We did have to raise it $1 after I did my. I keep track of all the prices of everything, and I kind of have to be at a certain number to be profitable. But I'm still below any other product on the market, so I do take pride in offering products that are below other products, what you get similar and still being affordable. So $11 for a 4-ounce bottle. I've had to do that for a lot of my products. Once I keep them on the market for a while, I kind of adjust the price. Sometimes I bring the price down. Actually, I did that on my mushroom bags. So my mushroom bags are $20 on my website. I'm just starting to make a lot of those again. Check out those. I guarantee all my products will grow mushrooms for you. So don't buy them from somebody on Etsy or somebody else in the market where they don't guarantee that you're going to get something out of it. GreatRiverMushrooms.com. You can see the website right down there at the bottom. And again, hit that straight cash homie hashtag and share me out, hit that like reaction, hit that love button. I appreciate all you guys being here tonight. We're just making some Everclear and we're making some FECO. Approaching the end of it, I think, here. It's hard to tell when we're getting to the end, like I was saying earlier. Maybe it's by sound, but it's still dripping a lot of alcohol right now, so. At that moment when it stops dripping when you've gone too far. I think you can see it in the camera over there. You can see it dripping pretty good. Whole process there. Still hear the volatile boiling in there if I'm listening for it. It's becoming not as loud anymore. So we're going to check it again. If anything, I'd rather evaporate the remainder and not burn my FECO than have to go too long. So I turned the burner off. We're still getting evaporation happening now. We're at 178 degrees. 178 degrees over there. So I think we're ready to squeeze out the elderberries now. So we're just going to take this glove we got. We got a silicone glove. Great for doing stuff like this. And we're just going to squeeze those elderberries because it is hot. So this is a silicone glove that allows you to grab hot stuff. So and you can see we're just squeezing the rest of that out. Getting all the rest of that syrup. Which there's still a lot in there, so that's the juiciest stuff is what's in the elderberries, And just trying to monitor what's going on behind me too. I think I might want to open it here. Still squeezing juice out of the elderberries. So our elderberries, if you didn't notice, we actually have 5 ingredients. I actually have a brochure now that goes with it. But our elderberries have ginger, cloves, cinnamon, and honey, and then the elderberries. So we kind of have 5 medicines in one. And we explain that in our brochure. explain the benefits of all 5 ingredients. So I'm happy that we got our brochure done yesterday. Anybody who buys my elderberry syrup online will get the brochure with it. And these brochures are really beneficial to offer you the education. Actually know what you're taking. You know, it's important to know that what you're taking, how it affects your body, because it affects a lot of people in different ways. And sometimes you don't notice until you read it on a paper and then it says, it treats ulcers. And then you're like, well, that explains why my ulcers are feeling better. Which there are some ingredients inside the elderberry syrup that do treat ulcers. Honey is one of them. Honey and coconut oil, they kind of lubricate the small intestines where ulcers can be. So that's why they're beneficial. Still squeezing a little bit out. And we're going to put that on a bowl to the side here. A cup, actually, in case a little more drip out there. And we're going to go check our FECO again. Still dripping out of the... It's still dripping out there, so it's still evaporating. We're going to flip these open again. We got a little bit of dripping happening here. We actually had a leak. Which, if we were using gas, that would have been a problem. It would have leaked right on top of the fumes. So I think we're at a good point here. That's why I'm going to take it off. I think any more evaporative would be risk losing it. So you can see here, we'll show it on this other camera. We're at the point where we want to transfer it into another container now and continue the evaporation. So we're going to put it into a small jar. And a coffee cup works great, anything like that. I prefer using just regular glass jar. We're going to dump it into here. Well, there's actually a lot in there, and it's almost to the point where there's no alcohol in there, so just slightly more evaporation, and that is pure FECO pretty much. Don't smell much alcohol left in there, so whatever's left is not much. So that will actually probably fill about a dozen syringes, so that's probably about 12 grams is going to be my guess. We do have a little more in here. I'm trying to find a... There we go. Trying to find a spatula. You don't want to touch that either. I almost wanted to grab that with my bare hand, but it is fucking hot. So we're gonna scoop the rest of that out of there. Put it in that jar. Some of the FECO started to sludge up, which is perfectly fine. So we're gonna get that in there too. The sludge is basically the pure FECO now. It's starting to separate from the alcohol. And it was trying to do it at the bottom. It didn't burn, it was just accumulating. We got it all out of there. That whole process is done now. We'll turn off that machine and that whole... And then we're gonna, basically what's left in here, you wanna put some alcohol in here. When we have alcohol here, this is 70% alcohol. We're gonna spray it inside there to get the rest of the FECO out so we can clean our container. We're going to turn everything off over here. And here we go. So we'll show you how much Everclear we actually got back. Put the lid on this. We can find that. There it is. So you can see this jar was completely empty. We got it. And we actually put, I think we put about a half a fifth in there. So you can see we probably lost about 20%. That's all or maybe more like 10, 20%. I'll find that other jar. So basically, it takes about half of this bottle to fill up, or a little bit more than half to fill up one, because here's what I had left. So this went into the other container, and this is what I had left after I dumped it in there. And this is kind of what I got back. So I'm going to say I probably lost 18 to 20% through evaporative forces, the stuff you're going to lose. So to get back 80% of your Everclear to reuse it is phenomenal. It's awesome. I just spent, you're spending $35 a bottle, you're getting like $28 back. And you basically keep doing that until you have, you can use it 5 times before you've exhausted it all and it's all evaporated, But getting a bottle to be able to use it 5 times and then just slowly adding more Everclear as you do it, save a lot of money. So yeah, now we're gonna add we're gonna put that on our candle warmer now, which is right here. And that process is gonna keep going for the rest of the night. And it'll basically continue to evaporate. I can turn it on. Evaporate the alcohol in it until it's basically a sludge. We're gonna add the honey in here too. Honey's going into the elderberry syrup. And I gotta find one more spatula. I think I used all my spatulas. I need to buy like 10 more. We got one here, so we're gonna put our spatula and get our honey all of them in that elderberry syrup. Good stuff. Get the good stuff in there. Let that run in there. And we're going to get our whisk back out, which we do have. We got this whisk, and I'm going to do a nice whisk with all of that honey in there. Throw all the ingredients up. Which once you put the honey in there, the honey basically turns into the liquid. It's still warm, but it's delicious now. Now all the medicine is done. You got that really, just all this stuff in here is just really, really good for your health, and you really can't beat some fresh elderberry syrup. So this process, this stuff is pretty potent stuff. Now it's not a syrup form, but the recipe that I use definitely infuses it pretty well. So you only need to take between a teaspoon for an adult a day and a half a teaspoon for a child. And this is medicine that will prevent you from getting sick. This is basically preventative medicine. It's better to take care of your body before you're sick than take care of your body once you're sick. So adding elderberry syrup to your life will definitely decrease the chances of you getting sick in the amount of times you are sick in your life. And that's a fact, especially when you give it to children. And I know a lot of hippie mothers who give elderberry syrup to the children and their kids are never sick. And I think there's a correlation there when you look at children who add elderberry syrup to their diet and the benefits of it. Now, this does contain honey, so this is not recommended for any child under 1. And I probably should educate that, but a lot of mothers do know that honey in general is not good for a child under 1. You definitely want them to be on older age if you're going to give them honey. Yeah, everything looks nice and mixed. We're ready to bottle it up here. And we got our stuff all over here ready to go. So we kind of have different locations in our kitchen. That's the great thing about having a good big kitchen. Also, look at this cool picture of my cannabis leaf. I don't know if I showed this. That is a picture of one of my first cannabis grows, which the girl I was dating at the time had made. It's an acrylic painting. It's pretty cool. So it's an actual picture of my bud on an acrylic painting. But yeah, here's the rest of the FECO oil. We got it on a candle burner, and you can see it's on right now. It's not going to end up burning the FECO, but it's going to evaporate the rest of the Everclear, and then we're going to put it into syringes. So great way to finish the FECO oil without burning it. So. All right, now we're going to bottle up our elderberry syrup. I'm going to put on some gloves again. Got a little bit of just going to dump it into our bottles, but I need to find a better way to do this. I think we're going to do it with this new thing that I just bought at the store. It doesn't fit in there, so we're gonna use a scoop. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we'll do it this way. We're gonna fill up these bottles now. You can see right here. Probably turn that off. We don't need that anymore. Just give me 1 second. I think somebody might be here, so give me a second. Yeah, we're gonna dump this in here. In a second out. Got a friend coming over for dinner, but I don't think she's gonna be here till 6:30. So it's still 15 minutes. All right, we're gonna dump this in here. And oh yeah, we're gonna use a cup. So this one I did last time, and I kind of overfilled them. But we use a cup. Hard to fill them too much. But I'm trying to find a scoop online, and Walmart doesn't have them that'll allow me to basically use a syringe that's not a cheap syringe. I've gotten a lot of different big syringes to do this. All right, we're just going to do that to fill it up to that point. We're going to do that to 6 jars or until we use all our liquid up. I just put it in the wrong jar. And I'm already making messes. That's all right. I wipe everything down at the end, so even if I spill it, it happens. That's why I said I need to find one of these to get better at doing this process where it's not going to make a big mess. That's what you do. You do it and make it, you learn it, and then you do it better next time. So that's what we do here at Great River Mushrooms. All right, we didn't make a big mess, but that's okay. These will all get wiped down here at the end, and we tag them, and then we do a hot water bath, like I said, just to boil anything off at the end. We got 2 bottles filled, but it looks like we got enough to do 6. Again, I'm making a big mess, so I'm just going to wipe it up as we go. And we're just going to, it's about 1 cup in a 4-ounce jar, so we know we need to put almost a full cup in each one to get them where we need to be. Enough. I can see my friend. Huh? All right, we're almost gonna fill these up anyway and give away that lot of money in the live anyway. So appreciate y'all joining me tonight. Yep, these are going to be fresh. So as you know, if you buy elderberry syrup from me, you're not going to get something that maybe been sitting on a shelf for months. Like a lot of the stuff you may buy on Amazon, you never know how long it's been sitting there. We make ours in small batches, as you can see, and through a process that we've They're kind of learning how to do better. But since it's one of our new products, it's kind of something that wanted to do for a while, is add elderberry syrup because I know the benefits of it. Again, these are 4-ounce amber bottles you get with them. So they're going to be block the sunlight, which is be harmful for any kind of medicine. UV sunlight usually does destroy a lot of it. Destroys honey or THC, honey, a lot of different things. So we're going to set these aside for a hot water bath here. We're going to do in a minute. And then they're going to be tagged and ready for sale. Again, we keep them in the freezer until we sell them. I have some in the fridge that I kind of take out so that you don't get them frozen, or they don't interfere with the packaging from being frozen. Now we can probably finish off by dumping it. We don't have much left. And if we sell these out at the farmer's market, that'll be great. I mean, I don't really know. You know, when you first go to a market with a new product, you don't really know what it's going to do. So let me hit this hashtag here before everybody leaves, before I leave. So good luck, everybody. We got 21 people in here. Let me bring myself up bigger here for the giveaway. There we go. But this one, the person has to be here to get it, so hopefully one of you 10 people win some money, straight cash on me. Good luck. Kristen Walker, congratulations. Are you still here, Kristen? I'll give you a couple minutes. I can't hit the loud applause button because my hand's covered in elderberry, but hopefully they'll sell out down, and that's the plan. All right, let me take this glove off. Oh, she's here. Awesome. Thank you. Kristen Walker, let me hit that applause. There it is. Congratulations. You send me your Venmo information, and I'll send that to you here when the live's over. We've been live for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and we're here tonight. Let's clean up a little bit. It's going to be a double applause, isn't it? Yeah. Congratulations. I appreciate you guys sticking around, joining me for that 2.5 hours. Don't forget to hit that like, share, react button on the way out of here. I do have a lot of people that watch it afterwards, so I appreciate everybody, all the love. Appreciate all the tags, all the shares, and everything else in between. But I'll smoke a bowl with you guys real quick, and then we'll call it a night. And wish you all a great weekend. I got the farmer's market tomorrow. I'll make a few posts about it on Facebook. So if you live in the Quincy area, just stay tuned, I guess. We'll be doing another live soon with our 1,500 follower giveaway over on Facebook. So go over there and like it. The sooner we get to 1,500 followers, we're going to have a nice little party and have a bunch of giveaways, celebrate that. You know, we're getting to 1,500 followers. So that's a big feat to do on Facebook to get to that point. And I appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the reactions, appreciate all the comments and everything else over the last few months that have allowed me to get here. So my friend is waiting for me apparently outside, but I'm going to smoke a bowl with you guys. You can wait 1 second. I didn't know she was going to get here this early. 6:30, that's what I thought, so I got 5 minutes. Oh, thank you for messaging me. Thank you for messaging me, Kristen. I'll get that out to you here. I need to eat some food. I'm getting hungry. And I didn't make any food that I can eat besides the elderberry syrup, so bring myself back up. Oh, that's not the one I'm looking for. We'll just go full screen. There we go. But appreciate everybody joining me again. Hit that like, share, react button. And let's load a little bowl and call it a good weekend. Cheers, everybody. Again, check me out, Quincy, the Quincy Farmers Market at the Quincy Axe Company from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Saturday. That's at 6th and Main in Quincy. Go check out them as well, Quincy Axe Company on Facebook. And I don't think I have any other news for you guys. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. Cheers. And again, go check out my website too, greatrivermushrooms.com. I do sell a lot more than just mushrooms. So I'm going to call it a night, guys. I appreciate you guys all joining me tonight. Much love to everybody. I hope you guys have a great Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And get out there and go kick this fucking 2004's ass, for sure. Again, guys, I'll see you guys later. Peace, guys.